What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Dave Drakes, and we're back for another Foul Plugs Moto show. We got a shout out to all of our great listeners and all the people that keep subscribing lately. It's been growing. Super stoked. This week, you'll notice I got somebody with me. I know you people have not seen this dude because he recently came across my page, and this dude needs to be talked about more. We got Jay Cooper on. This dude's been absolutely crushing it, and I wanted to get him on here. Mr. Cooper, sir, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming on and just showing your face, you know?
Hey, man, I appreciate the invitation and this opportunity for sure. I'm very grateful to be here and just excited to talk the business with you for sure.
Yeah, I'm stoked. So for the people out there who don't seem to know who you are, which is crazy to me because you have some pretty big accolades, give us the rundown on who you are, man, like your background and just like how you came into one of the opportunities of a lifetime most recently.
For sure. So my name's Jadon Cooper, and I'm from Baytown, Texas, about 20 minutes south from downtown Houston. And I've started riding when I was 7 years old. Just a little bit in like corn, just fields and just fields all over. Yeah, stuff like that. And my dad, he used to ride street bikes, but he took my siblings to the Nuclear Cowboys a lot, and which is like Nitro Circus now. Yeah. So it's kind of like, freestyle. And I like the concept of dirt bikes, but the tricks, I just wasn't a fan at all with the tricks. And
you got to be for Christmas, kind of like wiring for the tricks to like.
Yeah. I just liked it, like the thrill of it. It looks cool, like them jumping. And he got me a dirt bike from like Walmart and like just a mini dirt bike and a mini like street bike toy from Walmart and told me to pick one, just see which one I wanted to do. And it was dirt bikes. And he was surprised and the family was surprised. And I didn't take it that serious at all until I was like 15. And when I started taking it serious, I wanted to go to Loretta's at one point in time. And I didn't make it the first 5 years of me trying. It was just kind of like, the dream is just to get there,
So prior to you trying to do Loretta's, were you racing at all local? Like what kind of?
Yeah, a little bit locally. Yeah, a little bit locally. Just here and there.
Was that minis
just
or
going out
big
for? Was that
minis or big bikes?
This was minis actually at the time, and then I went to 125s.
Gotcha.
For like C class. I found out you can go in like Loretta's and C class, and that was on literally my 5th year of trying when I tried for C class. And then I actually made it in 2017, and I got 4th overall in 250C junior with like some crazy scores though. I went like 12, 11, 8 for 4th overall.
Which, your first year at the ranch.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just how the score is like aligned with that. That was insane.
So did you have any like, because still the C class is still really competitive, really fast.
Oh, very competitive.
Were you doing training up to that point with like, any coaches? Were you were you putting in time on like turn tracks? Like how did you go from like, oh, I kind of like this, I'm racing every weekend on minis, and then like 125, boom, we're at the ranch top 4. That's a leap.
It was a big leap, and one person that I can I definitely looked up to a lot of my career, and one person I really am inspired by is his name's Andrew Pierce, and that was my coach for a long time, and he just knew me on a different like level and aspect. He was actually racing at the time, and then he went to Loretta's for his last year in A class, and then after that he just full on started coaching me. And since then, like I just found a different love for it. Training with him, he's taught me so much. And then before I knew it, I was actually starting to keep up with like the group that I was training with, and I was like, wow, like I'm actually kind of catching on. And then he told me always to make sure I believed in myself, and I just listened to him because I idoled him so much. And he literally like took me in under his wing and just brought me so far. I give big thanks to Andrew Pierce. That was like literally my guy. He's like family to me. I still talk to him like every day because he's a huge reason why I was able to win Loretta's last year.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So going top 4 in C class, walk me through what those next steps were and how you got to, where you are now.
For sure. So I started right after C class. I was like, man, that was cool because I remember I pulled off the track. I didn't think I got 4th overall. I went 12, 11, 8. And then I got 4th. I was like, wow, like this is crazy. I get to do like the ceremony and stuff like that. But instantly, like right after that, I got so much confidence. And right after that, just confidence. I just wanted to, try new stuff. I wanted to keep training harder and training more. And man, he took me to a lot of tracks, a lot of different, facilities to ride at. We had a really good group of riders, my friends still to this day that still race. And we just kept racing. And then we went to, the Ponca, the Minios after Loretta's throughout the year. And my results were actually pretty good. Like they were just getting better and better. And then I went into B class in 2018 after C class. And when I went to B class, man, I just really, oh man, I was on the struggle bus. Man, it was so bad. I was back to square one.
One of the craziest things for me was when I got that yellow plate. It's like, oh, I'm racing like grown men now. Like this is like they're like elbows, like they'll knock you off the butt. Like these are like, oh yeah, I'm racing dudes.
For sure, yeah. They're like trying to feed their families out there. Like if you're going into a corner, like they're gonna get so aggressive. Yeah. It's bad. Like it was definitely a humbling experience, but it taught me so much just going to that, next age group, next class, and just taught me that I worked hard to get to Loretta's and C class the previous year. Now I'm in B class and I got to work twice, if not 3 times harder, to get there. And I went in 2018. I didn't make it in 2018 actually. After making it in 2017, I didn't make it in my first B class year, and was very down about that. And that fire that I felt, not making that is actually a big reason of why I was able, to keep going. And there was actually one story. I went to Loretta's in 2015. And I remember in as alternate, they invited me as alternate on MX Sports. And I wasn't fully in yet. They're just like, hey, you can be an alternate. And I remember I was so excited. And like my mom showed me the email. I started doing like training, 20-minute motos, like trying to replicate it. And I went there and I showed up in 2015. And I remember I was first alternate. And I actually went on like the starting line. And I thought I was going to race because a few kids didn't show up. And I remember I got to do practice, and they pulled me off the gate right before the moto because the kids came around to race. And I remember that broke my heart so bad, but lit the biggest fire under me, and I'll remember that feeling for the rest of my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was deep. That one hurt real bad, but that motivated me so much, just to just make it actually and not, have to go as an alternate and risk, that happening again. I never wanted that again, and that lit a fire under me like that, and it's been with me ever since.
Yes, I've noticed a lot of people that have those gritty stories of like, man, I had this huge heartbreak or this huge loss. They end up having what it takes to go the extra mile. Like I always tell people, like Eminem wouldn't be Eminem if he grew up in San Diego. You know what I mean? If you had like beaches and a bunch of money, you wouldn't have like all these hit albums. So
for sure.
It really does mold you. And we're seeing it today, dude. Like we're seeing people with humble beginnings that had that crushing blow. Dude, look at Masterpool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Gritty rides and gritty performance. So when you did get to the 450 or to the B class, what was how did you get to that next level in your training where like you did start to become one of the guys? Because we do have a lot of we get a lot of questions on like, man, like I just got a plate change. I'm trying to figure it out, but like, how the heck can I get faster? Like, what did you do to be able to go from, not making it one year to like, hey man, I'm now one of the guys?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely it came with that fire I was telling you about. And there came to a point in time where I was training and I was like, it just clicked. I just got a fire. I remember I went to church one day and I heard a really good word, really good sermon that day, and it just really clicked with me. And I just knew if I wanted to be the best, you see all these video of pros, doing their cycling, eating super healthy, working super hard. I was like, man, I have to do that. But if I want to be that good, I have to do like more than what the next person is doing. If I want to be better than that person, I can't be mediocre and expect to go beat them on the weekends. And there came a point in time before that year of Loretta's, last year of Loretta's, I rode 21 days in a row.
Ooh.
21 days in a row, just constant, just training because I wanted to get better so bad. And that really is what put me up to the top. That is a huge separator about how much work you put in, especially at this level. So I really just took time for myself and started grinding more, made sure I, had a really close relationship with God. That's a huge key point with me. God is everything to me. And my family, and my parents really supported me a ton, and I just always was told to believe in myself, and I just kept believing and kept working even when it felt so far away, and just kept working. Even when I felt tired, I would still show up, and that was all the difference for me, honestly. It's just faith and hard work.
I love that. Was there ever a point in your game prior to last year Loretta's where it was like corners or rollers or jumps where you saw like pros or like top dudes doing something, you were like, how the heck am I going to get this? And then like you just sent it and went in. Like what were one of those obstacles or sections for you, and like what was your specific like I'm just gonna hold it wide open, or was it like I'm just gonna like go a little bit faster each time? Like walk me through some of that, because I'm having a hard time with a couple things. I don't want to blow myself out on here and have people try to run me off the track when they see me, but I'm curious.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that one of my main problems is I've grew up around a lot of fast tracks. Like my local track is like Three Palms, Rio Bravo, places like that, and those tracks are. What's that?
Three Palms is gnarly. When I go to Three Palms, I'm like I'm doing the river track or the GP. Because the main one, I'm like, if you hit one of those little kickers or like one of the off the lips wrong, that one from the freeway is just gonna throw you.
Just gonna throw you all the way to the side.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, I'll stay in the GP.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. Yeah. Like the tracks were just very fast, so I learned how to go like fast.
Yeah.
But the thing that the pros do and are so professional about is I really like Chase Sexton a ton. And I remember watching Chase ride whenever I first became a huge fan. And he was going fast, but he was very calculated everywhere. See, I would just go fast and just hope for the best, get sketchy. But he was very calculated everywhere. And I was like, that's a huge step to get to an elite level, especially in, B, A class, any class actually, is being not just fast, but calculated, smart, knowledge, like the way they sit into the certain apex of the corner, and everything is for a reason. They're not just riding and holding wide open and hoping for the best. Everything has this time and place for it. And that's what I had to learn. I was like, man, I need to learn that. And I just worked super hard on it. It was very hard to do mentally, to slow down. Yeah. And I had to just slow down and really just work on my foundation, on just everything other than going fast. Work on all of that stuff, and that was a huge key point for me, and that definitely boosted me to my next level for sure, and just working on that every single day. And that definitely saved a lot of energy, and just helps with line selection is very huge. Just everything comes into play,
Yeah, I love that. We partner with the Moto Academy, and AJ Catanzaro is one of my closest friends. We grew up together, so one of my closest buddies. And one thing that they harp on is your technique and fundamentals. And sometimes what's hard for us moto guys, we all have egos, right? Is to slow down and go back to basics and just get past on the track when we're practicing and just focus on those things, like you said, and be very intentional with your riding. That's a hard thing for a lot of riders to. I have a hard time if I'm just focusing on foot placement one day, or we're doing elbows one moto, or keeping our eyes up one moto. It's hard to get past, man. Especially when super minis ripping around the outside of you. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to be humble, but it matters in the long run. I think you're a great example of that, taking it back to basics and going. In my opinion, you had a really quick and successful rise. I know there was, like you said, it's mired a little bit with some downfalls and some heartbreaks, but man, like the hard work really shows. We usually don't see people get a Loretta's title who didn't have a 65 or a 85 or a super mini or a schoolboy. You don't see dudes really just come up and be like, I got a B title. And you're like, where did this dude come from, Yeah,
it's super rare.
Testament to your talent and to your dedication to the sport, which is it's great. It's going to take you far. So hats off, man.
That means a lot.
Take me through to last year's Loretta's, because once I started getting from across and I started looking you up, and I'm like, dude, this guy motos, and I started following along and cheering for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure a lot of people, you opened a lot of eyes. Walk me through that, like that last year, that experience for you, and how you came away with the title.
Man, okay, so this experience was definitely surreal. Like I said, the goal was just to make it there, but to win was a whole different story. And I kind of came into it went into a growth mindset of I just wanted to do the best that I can instead of trying to put a certain result on it.
Yeah.
And actually, EBR Performance, team I ride for now, they actually gave me a really good deal to ride for them at Loretta's. And I remember I was super excited. I was like, man, I'm going to be on like the amateur factory team and be able to race under the rig, get the gear, all that stuff. So I was super excited going into it. And I had really good regional, so I was super confident going into it. And then I remember we went like to the test track the day before, and like just little things like that you've always dream of doing as a kid. Yeah, they just get you fueled up, and you like kind of feel like you belong. Like you just start to feel like you belong. Yeah. And I remember, man, I went out for practice, and I felt really good the first practice. And the second practice, the track was rough. And I remember, they just watered it really bad. And I slid going up a face, and I fell, and I burned my leg completely, like to like the white meat. Like seriously, It was really bad. And I thought I broke my wrist that same day, and I couldn't even open a doorknob. The practice day
prior to Loretta's.
No, the day practice day at Loretta's.
Oh.
Yeah, practice day at Loretta's. And I remember I searched so much to find a wrist brace and some ointment, sporn and stuff like that for my leg, and it was rough. And I went into that the first moto, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna have to suck up and do it. Like this is my dream. I'm riding on a team. I'm super grateful to be here, and I just feel I've been feeling good on the bike. So let's just see what can happen. And then I remember I went out, and I got a good start, and then I like passed into second, and me and Nicholas Israel, were having a really good battle. Mm-hmm. And I remember just standing up front, and it just kind of hit me like mid-moto. I was like, man, I am in second place at Loretta Lynn's right now. Like, what is going on? And then I got second the first moto. I was like, man, that was intense. Like, I was like happy, but like, I can do this. I was kind of like shocked.
Did you have a hard time focusing on the race because you were in second place? Like, oh my God, this is my dream. Don't mess it up. Did you have those thoughts?
A little bit, like early through the week, a little bit. But the moto I won, in all honesty, I don't even remember the moto. I was just so, I guess, zoned in. And I had like an outer body experience, seriously. And that's where, my faith in God really comes in. Because I felt like he just took over for me. I was super nervous going to the moto, and he took over for me. It felt like I wasn't even riding. Like I was kind of like third person. Like It was the weirdest thing. And I won the moto, and I was like, what did I just do? Like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And then the championship moto, I remember, like, you can go in, win the championship, you're sitting this and that. Like, that was just crazy to me. And I didn't sleep at all that night, at all. I woke up at 5 in the morning. Moto wasn't until 8:30. Woke up at 5 in the morning on a spin bike doing just everything. And then I remember the sight lap, super nervous. But whenever I got on the gate, I wasn't even nervous. I was just like, whatever happens, happens. Like, this is my dream. And the fact that I can win or lose or draw, I've done the best that I can.
I'm in the conversation, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was crazy. And then I remember I got a decent start. And, man, I rode kind of tight. But the last lap, whenever I knew, like, I have a chance to – this is, like, the last lap before I do a championship, I probably went, like, 9 seconds off the pace the last lap because I was so nervous. I was like, yo, exactly, don't mess up. I doubled everything. I didn't triple one jump. I promise you, my last lap was probably slower than the fastest 50 rider there. Like, it was bad. But I got it done. And when I got it done, I literally, on the podium, I kept having to pinch myself the whole day. Like, I'm having to pinch myself because it just didn't feel real. Parents were happy, and it was just surreal. I'm very thankful for it, and thankful to all the people that believed in me, and very thankful, all glory to God for sure for that.
I saw the picture of your parents up there. I'm like, I know mom and dad were excited, man. They were like,
oh, they were so pumped. Like, it was the coolest thing. It just warmed my heart so much because they sacrificed so much for me in this sport, and they have just my whole career. Like, I've seen my dad, work overtime so much just to be able, to get me to the next race. And my mom, like, she grinds super, super hard and always my mom is like my best mental coach, like, ever. Like, she helps me on like the mental side of things. Dad kind of teaches me to be tough, but my mom, mentally tough and mentally strong. That's where all that comes from. Yeah, like I owe a lot of that to them, that credit, that win, and everything like that, and they know it too. They've been a part of the journey, and yeah, we are all just super grateful and just never really expected it. But I mean, God's glory and God's grace will give you more than what you ask for.
Amen. That's 100%. I wish more people said that. But no, that's insane to me. That experience. I've heard that a couple of times where someone's like, "Man, like my best moto," where I don't even remember that moto. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty incredible. Being you're a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of the sport. What's one part of Loretta's? It could be a part of the schedule, a part of all the events that go on, because it's pretty much a week-long national, or the track itself. What's one thing that really like either gave you a hard time or like surprised you? Like either your first
surprised
time or
me.
just most recent. Yeah, that surprised or really stood out to you.
Really stood out to me at Loretta's is the heat. The heat and just the depth of the competition. It's actually insane. Like, obviously, it's the most prestigious amateur event and all that stuff. But until you get there and like everybody on that course, everybody surrounded by you is going super fast and super good, super technical. That's very like, wow. Like these people are really just good at what they do. And for me to be here, I must be pretty decent at what I do, humbly speaking. And it's just it's a light switch, man. Like just to make it there is just, it's such a big achievement just to make it there. And I've realized that like, no matter what class, no matter what position you get there, if you can just make it there, man, like you are a bad dude on a dirt bike. And that really surprised me how everybody there, you can just tell they put in so much work and sacrifice so much. And you're one of those kids, so it definitely enlightens you a lot and definitely shows you a lot you can learn.
That's awesome. I love that, man. Yeah, the depth for me, because I haven't made it to the ranch. I think I made it to like a regional age or something. Then I got crappy after that. But at my area, I had like AJ Cat, Jimmy Dakotas. I think Roxon came to one of my areas. And a few other, I think I had Barsha in one of my areas a couple
Wow, that's stacked.
And you talk about stacked. And I don't know why I did this. I've raced my bone stock Cowie in the mod 250. And it was, I remember the gate drop, dumped the clutch, and I put my head up, and those guys were already grabbing third. I'm like, oh God. Like, oh man, I'm in for a moto.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
They come prepared.
Yeah, I was not ready. So, but yeah, most recently you got signed to EBR. You're on the Husky. Big announcement went out. I wish more online media touted about how amazing that is.
Yes, sir.
For the fact that you did win the 450 class, 450B last year.
Yes,
insane. Sir. And then you got picked up. You're going on to futures. You're doing Open Pro Sport and 250A, correct? Talk about some of the prep you're doing for that and how this new ride came to be and how you're liking the Husky life, man, because you left Blue Crew, which everyone's going the opposite. They're going to Blue Crew. You're on the Husky. Tell me about that.
Yeah, honestly, this was very recent. I was talking to Josh from the manager of EBR, a very great dude. He's helped me with so much. And, he's always tried to find the best for me, with option wise and stuff like that. And I didn't get on the, the Yamaha side of the team. And he just kept looking and searching for me. And then I remember I got a text on Instagram from a DM from Daniel Blair. And he DM'd me and he was like super pumped to be working with you. And at first I was kind of confused. So I just immediately called Josh. And then another guy, Robert, who works with the EBR Ajax, very great dude and stuff like that. We had kind of like a meeting deal, and they told me they wanted to sign me for 2 years. And at first he kind of messed with me, texted me, he was like, "How is your AX and Supercross skills?" And I was like, "What are you like talking about?" And then he told me about the deal, and he wanted to sign me, and he's seen just how hard I've been working, and I was just very grateful for that. And then I remember I got on the bike, and I recently just came from the regional this weekend, and it was
Two tickets, right?
2 tickets, yes, sir, and College Boy and Open Pro. Those are the 2 classes.
I love that.
And man, the bike, I'm not even kidding. It is my favorite bike I've ever ever ridden, ever, man. And it's just, I'm very grateful, to have such a great team, behind me. They do so much. They sacrifice a lot. They make sure everything's right before, you go and do it. And even if it's not, they'll stay out there all day, testing with you, making sure everything's together. Like Daniel Blair, Robert, and Josh, and even my mechanic Dominic, they've helped me so much. And I'm just very grateful. And it's literally a dream come true. Like a dream to be able to have that, professional type of ride, to go into it and start getting my feet wet. Development team, very, very grateful. And just they've, just super excited to be working with them. The bike's awesome. And I know I can grow more on the bike and more stuff I can put on the bike, with suspension and stuff like that. I haven't even really got to test that much. And knowing that I can grow and it's already my favorite bike that I've ever ridden just makes me super happy and just super grateful. And it just shows me that God is, you work hard enough and you believe in him, he'll give you what you ask for. Because I've always dreamed of, having a factory ride, having a ride, being able to go pro with the ride. And it came about, and man, the team is awesome. I'm very thankful for it.
I love that. And also, it's probably confident inspiring, knowing that like the bike is already my favorite and we still haven't even really done what we could do, like
for sure. I was supposed to get
that's awesome.
I haven't even tested the ECU. I'm supposed to get stuff like that on there, and shock, suspension, different forks, and I haven't even tested that yet. I've kind of just been riding it and knowing that we can make changes and do testing and stuff like that with the bike is super, super cool. And I'm supposed to be going back out to Farm 14 with Kevin, and Kevin is very knowledgeable. Wyndham, very, very knowledgeable, and Kyle Swanson, very, very knowledgeable on the bike, and they can help me build and have the team out there too as well. And I'm just looking forward to it, man. I haven't been this excited about just the career and the future and racing and stuff like that, and that definitely just gave a lot of confidence. And man, I'm loving the sport more than I ever have before, so I'm just super grateful for that.
That's phenomenal. I love to hear that part. So give me the biggest difference between your bike last year and your bike this year. Like, what makes it that like next level of, man, I love this thing. This is amazing.
Okay, so the biggest difference, honestly, since one's a steel frame, one's an aluminum frame, kind of everything is different. But the biggest difference is definitely the weight. Like, this bike kind of feels more so like a toy. Kind of like you get like that playful feeling with it. Like, when you go into corners, you just feel like you can go a little bit faster every single time. And when you just feel that just very comfortable, and if the bike gets kind of out of shape, it's going to correct itself. And you just have that confidence on the bike, knowing that your bike is good. That's definitely the big difference. And just how it handles, like it just has a lot more flex to it. I really like that just for my style of riding. And I'm just in love with the bike. I switched to Pirelli tires, one of my new sponsors, and their tires are super grippy. I actually ran them at the regional. Phenomenal, hooks up very well. Very good in slick conditions, whatever type of conditions, and it just feels like home to me. Like it just feels like if there was a bike supposed to be made for me, it's that one, and that's just really the difference. I just feel very confident on it.
That's awesome. I love to hear when someone gels with the bike. That's
it's a great feeling. That's why it's been
There's no better feeling
at all. You just want to ride and ride and ride and ride. Like you get upset when the day is over with, So it's super cool, and I just know I've worked super hard for it. Parents have worked super hard to get me to this position, and I'm just glad I can. It takes a lot of weight off their back, and knowing that I'm actually going into a contract deal to where I can start supporting myself and start setting myself up and stuff like that, because they did all the work to get me here. I'm glad that they can finally lay back and just watch now, watch that we've really started to make it, and just it's surreal, honestly. I just can't really put it into words. It's definitely a dream come true.
I love that. I love hearing that, and I'm sure that you're super proud of all the work you put in. Looking forward into next year. Further on down the year and then into next year. What is one thing you're looking forward to at the ranch this year, and then what is one thing you're looking forward to when you do SX Futures?
Okay, so going to the ranch this year, what I'm really looking forward to is my biggest thing. I do my best whenever I go try to do the best that I can, and just trust God's plan instead of trying to make all these expectations, all these have to do this, have to do that. There's all that unnecessary pressure. I just really want to go in there, and it's pretty much like my last dance honestly. So
Yeah.
just really want to go in there and, obviously I know the feeling of how it felt to win last year, but this year, it's a whole different year, and definitely winning would be great. That's obviously the goal, to win. But I just want to go in there and have fun, do my best, gel with the bike, gel with the track, and just hit my marks and execute what I work on. As long as I do my best, I know that I can do really good. But doing my best is just my main focus. As long as I do my best, I just look forward to doing that and just learning more about myself, learn more about, we should have learned a lot more about the bike by that time, and just really putting up I feel like I can do really good results this year, as long as I just keep working on myself and not just get so caught up into that, I have to win this, have to win that, but just going into that, I'm going here and I'm going to execute it the best that I can. Not get so caught up in everybody else's story, but just focus on mine and just look forward to going in it with that approach, because that's the approach I went into it last year, and I feel pretty good. So I'm just looking forward to see how it goes with that aspect. And for SX Futures next year, I'm just super excited to learn. I've always, I went to all the supercrosses and stuff like that, and just as a kid, and just seeing, the pros in the stadium with all the fans, and just knowing that I'm going to be in that next year, even in arena cross, it just feels very good. And I just want to go there and learn as much as I can, especially, the first year, learn supercross, go out there and enjoy it, just enjoying it more, and not just making it such a, like I said, this and that, but just enjoying what I do, because I really do. And just having fun with it, and just giving all glory to God and let God take the wheel, and just seeing how it goes. Really, really look forward to seeing how everything goes.
That's awesome. That's really good perspective. Arena cross is gnarly. I love
the
way. Do you know one thing that I like about arena cross is it really teaches you how to bike balance, really how to use your brakes, really when to get on the gas, how what your limits are. Because you got to go fast, but you don't have much room to go fast in.
Yeah, for sure.
So you definitely learn your bike in a much different way. And then futures, it's such a cool opportunity. You're racing the same tracks as these guys, and half the time,
for sure,
we look at the guys that have rides like yourself. You guys are posting pretty much damn near the same times as guys that are in the main event. So. To me, that's pretty incredible. It's a great way to get into it. I'm really excited to see how far that really takes you.
Thank you.
I want to talk about some of the more recent racing. I want to get your input on it too, because you're in a really unique position. You'll be racing a lot of these guys soon. What's your take on the series so far for the pros? Pro Nationals. We haven't done a show on it quite yet. I've been slacking. I'm sorry, guys. But we got some cool stuff happening. We got a lot of cool stories. Jet for Sexton. Now Hunter's in the whole mix, and then we've got. In the 250s, we got Deegan who's crushing it. We got Masterpool who's showing some speed. We got Hymus. What are your thoughts so far in the season? And what's your take on it from a kind of an insider's perspective?
Okay. Hey, can you hear me?
Got you. Yeah, I got you.
Someone called me and it ruined the whole thing. Someone called me. I couldn't hear anything. I was like, what the heck? I was trying to decline it and it wouldn't work. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
No worries. I want to get your take on the pro series that's kicked off for Outdoor Nationals. We've got so many cool storylines. We've got a lot of different battles. Hunter showing speed. Red Bull holder. We got Jet, of course. We got Sexton. Yeah. And look at 250s. Deegan's just going absolutely insanely fast. Is showing a wheel. We got Shimoda recently. Ty Masterpool got a win.
It's deep.
So what's your take on it, man? You're kind of one of the insiders. That's really what you're going to be doing in a year and a half or so.
For sure.
What's your perspective on it so far?
Man, I study the game so much. I just watch motocross repeats because I just enjoy studying it. And I'm always watching the most Sexton. Like I said, I'm always watching Sexton. Really like Sexton.
And right there.
Yeah, I love Sexton, his persona, just how he rides the bike. And then, he just switched to the Austrian brands just recently. And whenever he had that comeback ride from last to first, I was like, okay, so we're on a good bike. We're good. That was cool to see for sure. Obviously, Jet's phenomenal. He's definitely phenom and very, very hard to beat. And that's super cool to see, generational talent like that. Deegan, that kid, he has to work so hard to be at that level. A lot of people try to say it was given to him and stuff like that. But he works so hard. There's comes to a certain point like where it's just talent is out the window. It's just about how hard you work.
Yeah, and you can see too, like, the having the support will get you to the event, right?
Yeah,
you
for sure.
You can't have nepotism when it comes to getting a first place. Like that is
talent, 100%.
hard work, dedication, like you talked about. Like, you'll get there, but it obviously takes so much to be able to win, and he's not just winning. This dude is
he's dominating.
This dude is
dominating.
Dominating. The amount of work. So a lot of people, when they say like, "Oh, it's been handed to him," you can't get handed speed.
Nope.
Yeah, so I think what he's doing is dope, man. I'm a fan of how he's riding and stuff, and it's just
for sure.
You can tell how hard he works, even to the point where like they're at Southwick training right now. That's my home track. I'm from Connecticut originally, but now Austin's my home. But like Southwick is a gnarly track, and they're there like now.
I've never ridden there.
What's that?
I've never ridden there. I've never in Southwick.
Southwick is so unique. It's up in Mass. It's a unique. I mean, we have our own different culture up there, man. We're crazy a little bit from up there, but the track is super sandy. It gets very, very rough, like a typical sand track. But the base is really slick. It's like a clay base. So you think you can come in and slam into the corners, and you really can't, because you'll end up sliding out, and then there's your momentum. It's got a lot of natural terrain hills, not many like man-made jumps. So it's a very unique track, and that's why a lot of the locals will go so fast there, because like they know how to ride it. They know you can't ride it like a typical sand track.
John Dowd.
It is John Dowd, exactly. Him, Keith Johnson, all those dudes.
Jimmy Dakotas,
Jimmy D. It was racing Jimmy there was so demoralizing as a kid. It really is. Like, I'm from 30 minutes from Southwick, and I still am like, how the heck am I going to go on this track, man? I don't know. It can go up or down. I'm either going to get like top 3, or I'm going to be like, why are you even here? So
seriously, for sure.
It's one of those tracks. But what's one track that you're excited to race in the pro ranks? I know a lot of people say Red Bud and Millville, but what's one that you're like, man, I can't wait to go pro so I can race that track?
You said it, and it's honestly Millville. I'm not kidding. I went to Millville for a regional, and that is my favorite track, hands down, ever. I love that track. Have you ridden Millville?
Yeah, I've ridden Millville. So what about the hills? Freaked me out. So like, what about it was like it for you?
The dirt, it's just perfect. Like the sand rollers, it doesn't get too dry. It's never too muddy. It's always just perfect. The bumps, they're very good. It gets a really good rough. I mean, the jumps don't get kickers and all that stuff on it, and it just seems like a very just good track with skill. Like it seems like it separates a lot, and it's just my style type of track. Just kind of go out there, let the bike ring it out, and it just looks super fun. It's a super flowy track. It's put together very well. I haven't been up Mount Martin yet. I haven't been up that yet. That thing is scary, but I look forward to doing it. Like it looks cool.
Brave. I'll watch you do it.
You just gotta launch down.
Man, that thing is crazy. Even just walking up it, you're like, Dad, we got to ride up this thing. Like
so much bigger in person, right?
It is. And the hills, I mean, I keep telling people, like, the TV does not do it justice how steep the hills are.
At all.
They're insane.
Yeah, for sure.
It's insane out there, too. That's always gnarly.
Yeah, the creek feels good, though. The creek feels good. They have something out there called, I remember I got it after the regional out there one year. It's called a Moto slush they have. It's
on property.
Yeah. Like half snow cone, like half ice cream. It's good. I mean, you can make it anywhere, but like just having it there, that's what they go by. So it's
all about the experience. It's all about the memories.
Yeah, it's about the experience. Then you get the ride over the bridge to the gate. Like it's just cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like that. I'm looking forward to seeing you ride that track thing, because it's really rare that we see people with like enthusiasm for a pro track. They're usually like me, where they're like, "Man, that's scary." I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely
the first. I think I did like a mini pro-am or something at Bud's Creek, and even riding that track, I was like, "Oh, this is scary." Like these,
really
I'm watching that thing. I'm doubling like all day.
Yeah, it's definitely intimidating for sure. But I feel like just as a racer, stuff like that that looks super like sketchy or gnarly and stuff like that. It's kind of exciting in a way because you just kind of got to embrace it. You're gonna have to do it anyways. If you show up and you see a big jump, you're like, oh, it looks big, but you're gonna have to jump it no matter what. So you might as well just go out there and do it. And that's very exciting to know that it's the skill gap and stuff like that. How skillful the track is and how the pros make it look so easy. It's very hard thing to do, and just learning that it's very exciting. A student of the game, and I'm just excited to learn every time I get on the bike. Everywhere I go, I'm learning from different people, different pros, studying different things, and it's just exciting to know that I'm gonna have the chance to be there one day now. Now that I signed this deal with EBR Ajax Husqvarna, and just very grateful to pursue. Can't wait.
That's awesome. And the one thing that I hate when I see pros ride the same tracks that I ride is when I'm stretching for my life to get over a jump and I see them scrub and pull a tear off. I'm like, that's disrespectful.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful, Or like, I was riding with one of my buddies. We were at Three Palms and some dude scrubbed underneath me, and the amount of disrespect that I felt. That's the equivalent of somebody like breaking your ankles in the court or something, or like dunking in your face. I'm like, that's the most disrespectful thing. I was like, 100%. All right, we're packing up, we're going home.
Seriously, you start doing like a slow side lap right after he does it, just like
right. Like I think my wheel is loose or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That kills me. One of the segments that we do on here too is we do our it's how we pay homage to a lot of people that have like the really cool really cool kits out there. We call it our drip check segment, where we pretty much say who has the sickest kit out there in the track. I want to get your opinion on who you think in the pros so far, in the amount of races we've had at the Nationals, who's had some of the sickest kits out there.
Oh, I'm glad. Me and my mom talk about this one all the time.
We got to do a drip check. It's how we work.
Drip check. And I'm going to have to say, Ken Roxon is up there.
Yep.
Malcolm looks really good. Mm-hmm. And Chase always looks really good too. Like those three. And there's someone, Shimoda looks good.
Thank you. Shimoda's kits are like sleeper kits.
Shimoda.
Once you see him on the bike, steezy.
Yeah. It's insane. It's incredible. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's art. It's like art.
For me, we're Epic's our sponsor on this program. So I always love the club guys. Like for some reason, and trying to be unbiased, they always have really solid kits that flow. For sure. They don't take away from the aesthetics of the print with all the logos. I think it always looks cool. Very cool. Hunter has some style in his kits. I love what he's been bringing lately to the game. Super to see. Shimoda's kit, man, his Shimoda's kit always drippy.
Kitchen style though is insane.
Yes,
it is insane. He makes any kit look good too, just because of his style. It looks super cool. I'm a fan.
I do like that one. I do like that one. We're gonna get into our next segment, power rankings, where we decide who's gonna be top 3 in any given class at this next upcoming race. We got Southwick that's coming up. So walk me through, who do you think is going to be your top 3 pick for Southwick? It could be both classes or either class.
Okay, I'm going to do both. So I'm going to start off with 450. 450, I'm always going to vote. I tell everybody this, always going to vote for Chase. Even if he's driving with one arm, I think he's going to win. I'm going to have to go with Chase wins. Hunter gives a really good fight because Hunter's been he's coming up. He's a builder, and he's just been building more and more and more.
Steady. Yes.
So Hunter definitely battling for win. But Jet last year at Southwick was phenomenal. Him jumping, that's where his style really came into play with him jumping bumps, and it's going to be good in 450. But my vote will be Chase, Hunter, Hunter, and Jet, but super close. I see Jet maybe edging Hunter or Chase out just by a little bit, but it's just going to between those three. So I'm going to just go Chase, Hunter, Jet. That's what I'm going to do but for 250. I know Deegan, they say it's his worst track from last year or whatever, but
he's there practicing now.
That's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah.
going to prove a point. He has like a chip on his shoulder, I feel, especially for that. And he knows he's been dominating and can catch anyone. And plus a
Yeah.
sand track, you can be more creative. I see Deegan winning.
Hmm.
Masterpool, he just came off one of the biggest races of his life. He's going to be up there too, especially on that Pro Circuit Kawasaki.
Hmm.
And third, it's really close between Vial and Kitchen, because Kitchen's style fits that track too. The track moves a lot. He moves a lot on the bike, and he's very sound and technical. But Vial, he's a Frenchman, so he rides tracks like that. So I'm going to go Deegan, Masterpool, Kitchen. That's my three.
So I'm just gonna do, and we're holding you to it too. So I'm gonna text you after the race, and we're gonna see. But I'll be there too. So I'll be like, bro, you were second. But I have a unique take. I think for 250s that Deegan's gonna feel confident because he's been riding there
for sure.
And I think, in my personal opinion, Vial rides these tracks better because he's got that Euro background, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just masters of the sand. You can see it all day at MXGPs. I think Vial is going to be up there for sure, but I think and he's used to riding those tracks a certain way. I think Deegan is going to be up there with him, and Deegan's going to ride a way that this typically people don't ride sand and still be aggressive in the sand and stuff. I think it's going to trip up Vial a little bit. And I think Deegan's going to be able to like get in his head a little bit and like throw in an elbow. I think they're going to battle it out, and I think Deegan's going to come out on top of that one, just because the kid's a little bit more mentally tough, and like he'll send it. He doesn't care. So I think it's going to be Deegan, Kitchen, and then Vial, because Vial.
That's a good lineup.
I think he's going to knock Vial down, and Vial's going to succumb to the pressure a little bit. So
that's a good lineup. You actually thought
that's what I'm going for. Don't bet your fantasy picks on me. I stopped doing fantasy. I'm sorry to Paul, but I was getting killed, and I'm like, I got to pull out of this. I can't do this. So that's what it is. But sure. Jadon, this was dope, man. I'm glad we got to talk to you, get the background, get like a lot of like what made you and how you got to this opportunity. I wish more people brought you on their shows and showed like the hard work, the man beneath the helmet, told your story, because dude, anybody that wins 450B is an absolute, behemoth of a rider, man. That's phenomenal. The fact that you got this ride is super cool.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, I got one more question, maybe two more.
Yeah.
Who's one pro that you're looking up to? Because you're walking into the pro ranks now. Who's one rider that like you look up to, or one rider that you're like, man, if I had their career, I would be really happy. That would be like a big blessing and all this other stuff. Like, who's that one rider?
Can I do retired riders?
Sure. Yeah.
James Stewart.
Okay. I like that.
James Stewart and current rider Chase Sexton. It's unbelievable. They're all, at this day and age, everybody's really, really good. But James, man, like, he just set such a good path, for me and others in the sport.
Yeah.
And just the way he went about things, and like, he's just such an icon. And he just wanted to just do the best that he can, just every race. And he did that. He would send it. I really respect it. A lot of people say, he fell and crashed a lot. A lot of people say that about Sexton. But, man, like, when you're going out there and you have that either I'm going to give it my best shot or I'm going to fall, like no in between, I'm not going to play it safe, I respect that a bunch. I respect that a bunch, because that shows a lot of character. Like, either you're going to give it 100% or you're going to be sitting on the ground. Like, obviously there's time and place. You can be smarter about situations, but I respect that a lot. And it's very hard to be up front that much. Even Jet. I learned a lot from Jet. Like, obviously Jet's career has been insane. I would love to, have a career like that, but just learn just from all the different riders like Stewart, Jet, and Sexton really are like my top three. I've just been watching them a lot. Even Deegan, like, you can learn from his work ethic, his grit, but Jet, his technique, Sexton, his technique, but his speed, Sexton's raw speed, Hunter's endurance, Deegan's endurance, it all, like, I look up to a lot of them. I just have a lot of respect.
A little piece from everybody,
a little piece from everybody, and I just really want to learn as much as I can, but use that into my craft and see what I can do moving forward. And I just get so excited to get on the bike to be like, man, I saw that on TV, so I'm gonna go try this. I saw Section or Jet do that, so I'm gonna go try this. I'm gonna try to jump these bumps, or I'm gonna try to sit right here in the corners instead. And just catching on stuff like that is I'm just gonna try to just do the best that I can, and I feel like I can go pretty far in the sport. And I know as long as I have God, and God is everything you need, and I just know that, and just gonna do the best that I can.
That'll take you very far. Going back to what you said, I try to emulate, and go like, oh, I'm going to go test at the track. That's why I'm in a cast right now, man. So you're more talented rider than myself.
It happens. You got to roll with the punches. It's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah,
that's just the beauty of our sport.
I guess so, man. This was an absolute blast. I gotta
I had so much
remind
fun.
people to make sure that they head to thecollectivexp.com. You guys are missing out if you are not heading to that program. We're open for the summer. We've got so many interns and fan experience goers that are joining us. It's been awesome. We've got the program open for all the rounds. I'm excited to head to Southwick so that we can see all of the hometown crowd, help people get those experiences. And whether you just want to hang out at a race or if you want a career, the Collective EX on Instagram, thecollectivexp.com. We have people that started careers as a mechanic, videographer, team managers, and more. Take your passion to the next level. We will help you do it. And the proceeds that we raise go right back to the teams that you're working with, whether it's privateers, satellite support. We are helping fund those riders, and your support helps them go every single weekend. So thecollectivexp.com is your ticket. Thank you to our sponsors, FXR Moto, Flow Vision Goggles, EVS, the people over at Phoenix Handlebars, one of our newest sponsors, Send It for Jesus. Shout out to Chase. And guys, if you want to join our Bible study, check us out at Send It for Jesus every Tuesday at 6:45 Eastern, which sometimes I'm late for, so sorry, Chase. And also shout out to the people over at Overshare Advice and Planning, Speed and Sport Adventure Tours, and of course the great people over at Evans Power Coolant. Jadon, if people want to follow along with you and check out the journey and see more, where can we follow along? Where can we find you?
Instagram. My Instagram handle is, I post a lot on that. Jadon Cooper 700. Hashtag is going to be under a lot of my posts. I do hashtag Coop's Journey, just kind of follow the journey. And I actually post on TikTok. I spread a lot of the, gospel and just God on TikTok. And my name on there is Jadon_Cooper. You can follow that too. And I just, keep God first. And like I said, Instagram and TikTok are really the main platforms that I'll be on. And my Instagram handle is Jadon Cooper 700, and TikTok is Jadon_Cooper if you like to follow the journey. It's going to be good. God's plan.
If you see a Husky going real fast and you're in the Texas area, it's probably him. So just come up and say hi, get the autograph, try to haul him off a few jumps if you can. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to go to 3P and just try to stay in the shadow if I can. So, and I'm going to pick a flat tire, obviously. So we're going to do that. But this is super fun, guys. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, subscribe. We want to continue to keep growing the community. Jadon, I appreciate you, man. This has been awesome. This has been super fun. Great learning the story, and we will talk to you very, very soon, man. I promise. We're gonna stay in touch.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir. You have a great rest of your evening. Everybody out there, be blessed.
The next one, we will check you out. Join us next week, and we will have hopefully some more guests that you guys want to see.